Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with a nerd.
I'm Ted.
The nerd of the hour, Ted. We have a GM 911 for you from So Gray. We had to do this one because the title was... What was the title?
Help my players are giving the magic items to the wrong character.
Oh, help my players are distributing the magic items to the wrong characters.
Yes. So... Why don't you head down to the description below, sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter. It's a great way to get gaming tips delivered straight to your inbox, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So the problem he's having, which, it's not really a huge problem, and I almost feel like this GM 911 is a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, is the fact that his players roll off to determine who gets their magic items. They don't distribute them. There's no party shares.
So it's literally, okay, they roll the dice. The dice determine who gets the magic item. There are some characters who don't have any. The Warlock has got 5, and I don't know what the total party composition is, but there should be enough for every single person in the party to have 2 magic items. And,
first of all, here's where things went wrong. The rest of the party didn't make Warlock packs with patrons so that they could have lucky die rolls. So now they screwed up right there, obviously.
Yeah. You have to do that to make sure you get the highest rolls. So, you get the more magic items.
So he's like, how do I even put in? He's like, I can't put in magic items for specific people because there's no way to guarantee they'll get them. They're not distributing them efficiently. But that being said, no one but him seems to have a problem with their method.
Right.
And they're kind of okay with it. So I would leave it as is. And if you put things in the group for the players to use and they don't use them, that's on them. That's not on you. Like, our group has always been like, who's going to benefit the most from this item?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, there's some items that benefit everybody.
Right.
But we're like, oh, magic armor. Well, who's going to go stand in front of everything? Let's give it to that guy. Right. Sure, it would. Anybody that can wear armor, it's going to be helpful for. But we're like, well, who's most likely to get pummeled?
There have been times where, campaigns have been run, and players will, argue or try to figure out okay, well, who's going to get this because multiple characters want it. But if there's only one thing, it's like, okay, well, how do we divvy up the treasure? And there's times it's like, okay, well, we get a magic item and 500 gold. Well, clearly the magic item is worth more than the 500 gold in its entirety, but you can't, unless you say, well, we'll just sell it and divide it all evenly, that it's not going to work. And let's face it, most people aren't willing to sell the only magic item that you find. So you have to figure out whatever the party accepts for loot distribution is kind of what you have to deal with. And I'm sorry, So Gray, if the party doesn't have a problem with it, you shouldn't either.
Now,
I'm just going to put that out there.
Now, that being said, there are certain circumstances, right? I've given out 4 specific magic items in my game, and they've gone to specific players, and of those 4, one of them was impossible for anyone to really do anything about.
Well, that was the sword that Alan got.
No.
No? Okay.
That's technically a sword. Someone else could take that and use it.
Okay.
But the one started out as an ion stone.
Okay.
That...
Oh, that's right.
That got affected by chaos magic, so the one character was actually stealing it for somebody else, and they couldn't get rid of it because it kept coming back like a boomerang.
Right.
And then eventually, it ended up being embedded in his forehead like a bindi. So there is nothing to be done about that.
Right.
So there you go. Stick the items in your players.
Shove.
Now there's a couple others like. The one character had a great sword, Flame Tongue, bestowed upon him from the Dragon Emperor in a ritual that also granted him knighthood.
Right.
Clearly, that item went directly to him. What he did with it afterwards, if he decided to put it in the party shares or whatever, he could, but the Dragon Emperor that gave it to him might get annoyed and be insulted that he would do that with his gift.
That no one else in the party uses a greatsword.
True, but that being said, but their party, that wouldn't really matter.
Right.
But like greatsword, Warlock rolled the highest, he gets it. So there was that. Then in my most recent game, during the last combat, the two of the players decided to abstain from it because they did not wish to fight against
The adversary.
the adversary. And they may have even sworn their fealty to him, although they wouldn't help against the party. So he actually bestowed gifts on them, on their persons, and literally one of them finds one later, and the other one felt a medallion, appear around his neck. So again, in those cases, the party doesn't even know about the treasure. And it would be up to the players to go, oh, I'm going to put this in with the party thing. But again, they were actually gifted to them, so there might be social consequences for doing that. So, like, there are some ideas, some suggestions if you come up with specific things. It's just a game. If they want to divvy up the magic items however they want, and you don't like how they do it, it doesn't really matter. Unless you're literally going to force them.
Right.
To do it your way, which it doesn't matter if your way is the best way. All that matters is that
they're having fun.
They're having fun and they enjoy doing it that way.
Yeah, and it really looks like, based on what you're telling us, that the party doesn't have an issue with it. Dave's got some great suggestions about having them appear as gifts, through one method or another.
Well, also, I would like to add to that, in Ted's campaign, he's also done that, where things are specifically gifted to people. He's done that where here's a chest, you each get to pick an item. Like, we're told you each get one of these is for you. So it's kind of like, and so it's been said, one of these is for each of you by the person giving it. So there may be a certain sense where they can't take more than one, or the whole gift might be revoked at the same time.
There's also in my game, you guys were fighting a chaos entity, and repeated swings into the creature wound up enchanting each of the weapons. So the characters who were fighting with martial things wound up, because it was, I put it up to odds every single round, it had a chance of it being affected.
Right.
So literally the weapon that's in your hand can be changed. So
I was going there next. So there's definitely ways of doing it. And really this also lends itself to just remember there are other ways for the characters to get magic items and magic gear or interesting stuff. It can be bestowed, it can be made. Another example in Ted's campaign is I got a magic item that allowed me to make a magic item, and I could make whatever I want with it. Well, I actually made a magic item and gave it to an NPC. Well, that can happen in reverse, or I could have given it to another player or whatever. But again, it's very specific. So yeah, there's solutions. I'm sure the other viewers in the comments below, they're going to give you some great ideas. So while you guys are giving the great ideas, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and check out some sweet swag.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.